Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lawful and Orderly. Tonight is the third of our Lan Arcanym city stories, and without further ado, welcome to Lan Arcanym, the city of magic. At the nexus of three major ley lines, the city shimmers with magical energy. But that kind of power brings trouble that sometimes seems to spawn from thin air. To help combat this trouble, the newly appointed interim mayor of Lan Arcanym has created a new High Guard division, Criminal Sorcery Investigation. CSI accepts only the best of the best. These highly competent individuals are ready to protect the city, and their high-octane adventure starts now. I feel like, we need the electric guitar riff. Welcome, everyone. My name is Andrew J. Young. I will be your game master this evening. As I said, this is our third and our final Lan Arcanym City Stories interlude episode before Season 2 starts next week. Tonight we'll be doing a little bit differently than usual. For our CSI Officer's Adventure, we'll be using Daniel Bain's Wushu system. I'll give you a real quick overview. It's a rules-light system that focuses on player narration. So, Scott, why don't you actually tell me what your character's name is? You don't have to give me a whole lot more.
I am playing Deus Ex Machina, the wizard extraordinaire.
Perfect. So, at any moment, Scott could describe something, and that thing is what happens, because Wushu accepts all player narration unless everyone vetoes it, which, nah. Everybody's going to be rolling D6s, and everyone's going to be describing their details. I'll count their description and tell them how many D6s they get to roll. They'll pick one of their three traits and roll against that, and if their dice come up at that number or under it, it counts as a success. They'll be splitting their successes into offense and defense. Offense to advance the scene and defense to protect their character. Everyone is going to have 3 health, and when you get to 0 health, if you take one more hit, your character is out of the scene, out for the rest of the scene. I think that's everyone. That's all you need to know. It's like 95% of the game. So Scott has already introduced himself and his character. We also have with us Marty McGuire. Marty, who are you playing this evening?
Hello, I will be playing Chekhov S. Gun, a cryptic monk and a Zen martial artist.
Excellent. Everyone knows Chekhov S. Gun from those famous sci-fi television shows. And
that's right.
Star of stage and screen. And we also have Clara with it. I said Clara. Clara with us tonight. And who are you playing tonight?
I'm playing Bruna S. Boss. And for now, she's just a human.
All right. Bruna S. Boss, Deus Ex Machina, and Chekhov S. Gun. We don't ask what the S stands for. So, the city of Lan Arcanym has been undergoing a lot of turmoil lately, and the new interim mayor of Lan Arcanym, Adame Sauvage, has decided to start her interim mayorship off with a bang. So she has scoured the city, recruiting the best of the best, some of the most competent individuals in the city, and has started up the Criminal Sorcery Investigations unit of the High Guard. She is sitting down in the mayoral office with the 3 individuals she's chosen to be the foundation of this unit. All right, everyone. Thank you again for coming. I appreciate your time, and you've all signed NDAs, so you know that nothing leaves this room.
Yes. Your non-divination agreements have been signed by the wards and the powers that be.
Of course. I'm sure this will never come back up in any way.
I can't imagine it would have to.
I ain't saying nothing.
Well, Bruna, I appreciate your silence. So, everyone, I've gathered you here not only to serve as the foundation of the city's High Guard's Criminal Sorcery Investigation unit, but also because, we've stumbled across a problem already, and I think it's one that would be well-suited for you to tackle. I've discovered that the Queen of Lan Arcanym is causing trouble in the Deep Tower, and I need you to go investigate, we'll say, and deal with whatever's happening down there. Now, for those of you that don't know, the Queen of Lan Arcanym is not an official royal. It's a title she's adopted and convinced everyone else to adopt. I think she's actually changed her name legally to Queen of S. I think it's S as her middle initial. I'm fairly certain. Queen of S. Lan Arcanym. And she lives in the Deep Tower, which, as you know, is an inverse tower that goes directly down into the ground. So I will need you to infiltrate the Deep Tower. You do have the authority of the city, but the Queen has not had a history of recognizing that authority. So you're of course authorized to use the force at your disposal. I need you to get down there and find out what she's up to and deal with it post haste.
Yes, the Queen has had a rather importune temper of late. Why, we were supposed to dine for tea, and she never showed the nerve.
Well, that's suspicious on a number of counts, but you might find that things are not as well with the Queen as they could otherwise be. It might explain some of her actions of late. But if you've got a personal relationship with the Queen, Deus, that's perfect. Maybe it'll give you the in you need to talk to her if you make it to the bottom of the tower. So, at any rate, time is of the essence, and I need you to find out what's at the bottom of the Deep Tower and deal with it. Any other questions?
I don't believe anyone has spoken up.
Well, then I hereby inaugurate the Criminal Sorcery Investigation Unit's first mission. Get out there and do the city proud.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
If we must.
All right, leave now. I think you have things to do.
Yes, of course. You'll find we are already gone.
No. This office is so big. Okay, so we cut to the three of you at the top of the Deep Tower, looking down onto a giant circle of steel with a trapdoor in it.
Oh, how tedious! What a mere mortal tribulation a thing as a door.
Oh, is that all you were going to say about the door? Not something about how you know how to defeat it, or you've been through it many times and you'll show us the way?
Well, both things are true, but as is the way of Deus Ex Machina, I will let you go first, and I will only show up once you've demonstrated your own need for me.
I see that we're already off to a great start as a team, testing one another.
Yeah, I'm really liking the chemistry here.
A metal slot opens in the trapdoor, and you see a pair of eyes come up to it. Is that the dulcet tones of Deus Ex Machina I hear out there?
Yes, Bradley, 'tis I. And, yes. And the Queen was late for tea, you know.
The Queen doesn't want to have anything to do with you.
What?
So say I, Bradley Bumblebore.
Fine, Bradley Bumblebore. We'll see what you so says. Says me and my team.
Well, I'd like to see you try. He sticks his tongue through the slot and then closes it really quickly.
Oh, man.
Well, get to it, you two.
Yeah, so Wushu is player narration. You guys are highly competent adventurers, so I do not expect you will have any trouble making your way into the tower.
Okay, how about maybe I knock on the door instead, and we push Deus out the way, and then we try again.
And may I ask who you are and what your business is here?
My name is Bruna, as boss. I am from the newly formed Criminal Sorcery Investigation Unit, and I just want to ask some questions.
Very well. What questions do you have? Wait, no one bothers the Queen. She's very busy. And he closes the little aisle.
Oh, all right.
And at that moment, the defenses at the base of the tower activate. At the top of the tower, I apologize. And the metal around the edge of the giant circle flips upwards until it's a series of spikes pointing inwards, and they just start firing these foot-long metal shards at you. So at this point, I will tell you that penetrating the tower's defenses is going to be primarily a very simple task. It has a threat rating of 1, which means that every time that you roll dice, you will take 1 damage unless you roll a defensive success.
So we need to narrate some way to defend ourselves.
Yeah,
possibly.
But your defense could just be like, I knock it aside, and then you do a bunch of other things.
Sure.
Right. You can choose whatever you want to roll after the fact. If you forget to narrate defense and you want to get some defense dice anyway, it's not the end of the world.
Got it.
But you'll need to get a total of 10 successes. Now, this is going to take you beyond this is not just getting past this initial metal doorway. This will take you into the tower and set you on your way. So you'll need 10 offensive successes to resolve this scene, whatever it turns into, and you'll need to make sure you get at least 1 defensive success.
And what is the dice limit?
The dice limit is going to be, we'll say 5. We'll start pretty high.
All right.
Which means you will tell me what you're doing. And then I'll count sort of what you're saying and try and count details. And then when you're done, I'll tell you how many dice you get to roll. And then you can decide how many of those are going to be defense dice and how many of those are going to be offense dice.
Well, Deus Ex will start by opening up his palm, and swirling mystical energies form in them, and they sort of etch out in ghostly patterns a large circle in the air, and through that circle it becomes clear that it's a lens looking straight through the door at Bradley Bumblebutt.
Bumblebore. So close.
Right from behind. And then Deus Ex Machina uses Gridley's exposed palm, a magical spell, to make a gigantic formless hand to reach through the lens, grab Bradley, bring him out, and then the portal closes because Deus Ex is done with it. And then he says, Bradley, who's on what side of the door now? And uses Bradley to shield himself from the impending arrows.
Perfect. I counted 5 at least, and you definitely went more. So go ahead and take 5 dice.
All right. Who's it back?
And you don't have to tell me what. You just make sure you know which one are defense, which ones are offense. If you need to roll them separately, or you can roll them all at once.
Cool. Are we rolling all together once we're done, or am I rolling out?
No, we're going to roll piecemeal. So you can go ahead and roll right this second if you would like.
I was using a magical last second save. My combat ability. So that means that, let's see, rolling high is good in this system, right?
No, rolling low.
Oops, so I failed my defense. And I got low or equal, right?
Low or equal.
3 offensive successes.
Ooh, buddy. All right, so you do take 1 damage.
All right.
But you've got 3 successes down out of 10. Off to a good start. So you do all that, obviously, and the spikes launch at you it's in slow motion. Everything's in bullet time right now, so everybody else is doing something in a blur. But here you are holding up Bradley Bumblebore, who the spikes flow towards him, and they don't really impale him, but they stick. The very points of them just stick to his outside. So he's not injured in any way, but he's covered in metal spikes.
Covered in spikes.
Yeah.
Suction cups.
Very inconvenient.
At that point, Chekhov, who will have bowed as the spikes come out, and the spikes will have gone over his head, whirls now to Bradley Bumblebore and says, "You've begun the day on the wrong side of the bed. I can tell that you are the bristly kind. Well, as it has come to pass, the bristles have come to you. Now, you will take us inside and guide us to your queen. Or do we need to drive these spikes further inside to find the source of what truly ails you, Bradley?"
I like the zenness of your muck. I counted just about 5, so we'll go ahead and call that 5. And what trait were you using, Marty?
Most of that was foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing, okay.
Yeah, telling it like it's gonna happen.
So that looks like it's gonna be a 4 or under for successes, correct?
Yeah, I think that is correct.
All right.
All right, so I roll the defense dice first. Is that what's going on?
I think that's the easiest way to do it.
All right. I rolled a 3 for that, which is
that's a success,
good, right?
All right. And how many did you roll? How many defense dice did you roll? Just one?
Just one, yeah.
Oh, lucky shot. All right, so you've got 4 dice left for offense to roll then.
Okay. 4d6. Here they go. Oh boy. I got two 4s, 2 5s, so 2 successes.
All right, 2 successes. You're halfway there, guys. Halfway there, living on a prayer. Okay, so the spikes go flying over your head. Bradley Bumblebore begins quivering, and the spike all over start vibrating all over him. But before he can say anything, Bruna S. Boss does something interesting, I'm sure.
So what I do is that as soon as I see them, I have lightning fast agility. So they come out at me very slowly. And so I can move my body and just dodge them like Neo from the Matrix. And then I also drop to the floor and cover my head so that most of them go over me. And yeah.
Oh, excellent. Are you going to do anything about the trapdoor or about Bradley Bumblebore or?
So I'm going to go over to the trapdoor and I'm going to take the handle. I'm going to break the handle off and I'm going to quickly fashion it into a shield to shield myself.
So you rip off the entire door and make it into a shield.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, that's worth 5 dice for sure. Okay. So, and what are you going to be rolling against? What trait did you feel like that was lightning fast agility?
I kind of used 2. Is that not good?
That's fine. Just pick whichever one you feel like feels better for the action. Yeah.
Okay. Which one I need most? I would definitely need the fix things. So my general is I can fix things, so I can fashion anything out of anything.
Sure. I feel like that was the highlight of your action was ripping the door off and making it a shield. So you can roll against that.
Okay. So I roll a d6 or a 4.
You can roll as many, and you can roll as many as you like for defense first. So you have 5 dice. You could take 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 and roll your defense
first. I did
first.
2 for defense and failed them both. Marty did 1 and succeeded with his. So it's up to you.
Okay. I think I'll try 2. Okay. 2d6 then.
Yep.
All right. So I threw them and I got it says 4 and 1 equals 5.
Okay, so you got a 4 and a 1. The 1 is definitely a success, so you got 1 defense success.
Okay.
And you've got 3 dice left to roll for your offense.
Okay. Okay, so the offense I would say is the agility. So.
Oh no, it's all the same trait.
Okay, it's all
the same trait. Yep.
Okay, so 3 dice left.
Yep.
I'm just gonna roll 1. And I got a 3.
Okay, and you can roll 1 3 times. Are you going to roll 1 3 times?
No, I'm just going to roll 1.
So you got 3.
3. Okay.
You got 3 dice. Yeah.
Okay, so I have 5 dice each time. Okay.
Yeah, you got 5 dice this time for your description. So yeah, you got, and you don't want to save these. There's no saving, and you'll get more next time.
Okay. So I'll roll another one. All right. So I got a 2.
Yep, and 1 more.
And then I'll see. I got a 4.
Okay, and what trait is I fix things? What's your number there?
5.
It's my 5.
Okay, so those are all successes. So
nice.
3 more offense successes. So you guys are 2 away from finishing this threat. So now just to set the scene again, there are metal spikes everywhere, all over the ground, embedded in stone, embedded in walls of nearby buildings, embedded in Bradley Bumblebore. The actual hatch has been ripped off, and you can see little metal claws starting to pull out tiny little automaton creatures out of the hatch. They're kind of like not wombats. Yeah, no. No, they're too big for big wolverines. Badgers, we'll say, or gophers. But they're metal, so they have like these big round shells, and then tiny little metal claws, and then little metal teeth. And they're all pouring out and rolling around you and nipping at your heels and things. They're not particularly effective. And Bradley says, "Get them, my babies! Get them! Nibble at their ankles!" Bite off their toes.
So can we jump in at any time? Or
anytime. Leap in. Tell me what you're doing.
All right. Yeah. At that point, Chekhov as gun will say, "Hello and greetings to you, little ones. My, look at you swarm. What an auspicious day for you here at this scene. For there is an intruder. Look at him, covered in spikes. Clearly, he was trying to break in." And we'll go ahead and with permission from Deus Ex, go ahead and kind of like give him a little trip and knock him on the ground to be assaulted by the beetles as he then like takes a step back and begins to fade away towards the door.
So do they just like, what do they do? They just engulf him in like their beetle, like it's like a swarm of them just kind of come up and he gets disappears?
They just cover him like a carpet, and they're not like eating him, like you said, they're not very effective, and there's a bunch of spikes in the way that they're trying to get through. But he's just writhing on the floor like, no, wait, my pretties.
Perfect. All right, that's 5 dice. Go ahead and roll against whatever trait you feel like that was.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw 2 for D.
Awesome.
Let's see. Let's see. That was very bad. So I was using red herring, drawing attention, which is a 3.
Oh, nice.
I rolled a 5 and a 6. So I'm gonna take a damage on that.
You're gonna take 1 damage on that, correct, Mundo?
And then let's see. I'll roll my offensive dice, and I got just 1 success, 2 5s and a 1.
All right, we are 1 success away from wrapping this up. So the beetles have now, or the beetle gopher metal things are swarming over Bradley S. Bumblebore, and you hear some kind of rumbling coming from inside the hatch, and you're not sure what it is, but there's like little flashes of light inside that you're seeing now, and they're getting faster. The frequency is increasing from inside. So yeah, you guys can.
My word! Looks like somebody needs to make a save of the whole team just in time. Well, luckily. And Deus Ex Machina vanishes from where he is, and then reappears inside the door near this mysterious rumbling, just where you need him, just at the time you need him to be there. And the mysterious rumbling, perhaps the first of several mysterious rumblings, but this mysterious rumbling happened to be the Master Badger. And the Master Badger comes out with huge gaping claws and enormous fangs, and says, "I am Uber Bradley." And Deus Ex Machina says, "I think not," and pokes the Uber Badger in the belly button, and the Uber Badger and Deus Ex Machina says, "Mordenkainen's great belly button shrink ray." And a burst of purple light causes the Uber Badger to turn into a micro badger that's just adorable and a delightful little pet for friends.
That is most perfect. That was definitely 5. Go ahead and roll whichever ones you want for defense first, and then you're only gunning for 1 more offensive success.
All right. I'm rolling mysteriously there when you need him. I succeeded on a defense success, and nice. I succeeded on 3 offensive successes.
Oh, nailed it. Okay. So you lead everyone into the tower, and you all jump down. Deus now has this diminutive Robo Badger.
He's cute, isn't he?
It's absolutely adorable.
Oh, it's a she, and she's pregnant.
Robot pregnancy.
Can you hear this intercom crackle? Life finds a way, boys and girl, people, folks.
That's right,
citizens.
Queen. We come as an integrated group to demand that you entertain me for tea. And also some other stuff, I guess.
Well, I think you'll find it a little hard to fit in to my... No, wait. You'll find it a little... No. You'll find it a little hard to be fit into my schedule.
Well, much as...
How do you turn this thing off? I don't understand. Is it the red button?
What?
Or the green button?
You have to wait for my comeback. Is that... What? Son of...
And you get... Okay. Turn right now.
Does anybody have anything for this? I thought I had something for this.
Maybe Bruna S. Boss. I could just go over to the queen, I can be really friendly, and I can just say, hey, maybe, just girl to girl, we can have some tea together, or you can let us inside the castle and show us around. And, that way we can snoop around and see if there's any type of criminal sorcery going on.
The intercom crackles back. I don't care who you are. You're not coming down for tea. If you want to come down for tea, you'll have to, I don't know, fight your way past my nearly limitless number of guards and traps and minions. So good luck with that.
with my friendliness, though, that's a skill. Can I roll on it?
You actually can. It's not a commonly used thing, but just go ahead and roll a 1d6 for this one. It's called a scab roll.
That's actually a thing.
Yeah, it's a very infrequent mechanic.
Okay. I got a 2.
So that's a success. So what happens is the intercom detaches from the interior of the metal wall, and it's the head of a little roly robot maid droid. Like it's got a little it's got one wheel it just balances on precariously. It's got little stubby metal arms. And it rolls off and says, I will be your guide through the deep tower of Lan Arcanym, home of the Queen of Lan Arcanym. Please follow me. And begins rolling towards a ramp set around the outside of the room that just goes down.
Let's lead us to the tea room. I believe tea room 6 would do nicely. It has a lovely view of the deep tower, part of the deep tower. Yes.
Tea room 6 coming right up. Follow me, please. Follow me, please. Follow me, please.
Splendid.
Off we go.
Splendid.
Did you set the mute on the robot, did you say?
Oh, no, I just said off we go.
Off we go. You reached over and pushed the robot. Okay, so it leads you down several floors. You see hordes of spiky barbarian warriors sitting idly by. When they see the robot droid, of course, they grumble and go back to playing their cards and dice. You see an entire...
wave as we walk by following.
Hey, you guys new?
I'm not. You've seen me before.
Are you sure? I guess you say so. Have you seen it before? I haven't seen it before. Now they all look the same. And you go down some more floors. There's one that's entirely covered in spikes and jets of fire, just keep spouting out from different areas. But every time you get to a floor, the robot pushes a little button on the wall, and this ramp just descends, and you go down and around it.
Like the accessible ramp for the horrible spike staircase.
Yeah, exactly.
Sweet.
City mandate determines that all access must be handicap accessible. All areas must be handicap accessible, and of course there has to be a fire escape as well. So yeah, these are.
It's hard to have a fire pit trap when there needs to be a fire escape from it. That's true.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's secret, but definitely up to code ramps that go.
It just needs to be accessible to the right people at the right time.
Exactly.
The city doesn't care who you kill unless it's city officials.
Yeah, there has to be a ramp all the way out. So you go down several more floors filled with all manner of vile traps and vicious defenders until you reach what looks like it maybe used to be a tea room, but is now set up as some sort of barricade. And the robot just bumps into the barricade repeatedly. Tea room 6. We're going to tea room 6. Follow me. Follow me. On your left, you'll see art. On your left, we're on our way to tea room 6.
Might be time for that Mordenkainen's magnificent mute.
And just to say that it's just you can't tell a difference.
It's still.
But if you put your hand up to the speaker, you can feel it vibrating, but there's no sound coming out because its head is just a giant intercom speaker. So yeah, you're now it's pressed up against a barricade of green energy. That it's you guys are on the floor, but there's this opaque green dome of crackling energy blocking most of the room, and you hear. You have come at the wrong time, officers. You do not know what it is you do, but I assure you, you have made a drastic and deadly mistake.
Oh no.
Don't you have a rebuttal? That's usually how these things go. I say a thing, and then you say some sort of rebuttal. But if not, it is going to be a lot easier than I thought.
Well, I'm generally only supposed to rebut things at the end, when it's well-timed and maybe ironic. Or perhaps forced, if there was no other option but for me to speak.
Well, in that case, allow me to do the talking. My name is Casa Esanova, and I am here to prevent you from getting any further. You see, the Queen of Lan Arcanym has other business to attend to, and she does not have time for the likes of you. So I think it is time that you go away, my friends. Go about your petty business.
So what do you think, Chekhov? Do you think this Mr. Anova fellow is necessary and important to the story? I don't.
Well, I think, as with all questions, there is a simple answer here. He, along with us, is outside this barrier, but he, along with us, believes that he will soon be moving through the barrier. I believe he has some sort of means for moving through the barrier, and I believe it will soon be ours. And with as he's saying that, like he's sounds very soothing, but he's actually edging closer and closer to the guy, so that by the time he stops talking, he's basically like picking the guy's pockets.
Yeah, so this guy's got a like really like dark olive skin, black, kind of short, kind of slicked back hair, a little bit of white puffy shirt, like leather pants, sparkling black shoes.
Quite the Nova.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. He's a Nova, right? And so you do reach in to pick his pocket, and you find a green glowing key with a skull on one end of it. But he reaches out and grabs your hand and says, "I believe it is time to dance, my friend." At that moment, the green barrier spits out these sort of
green energy golems.
Yeah, they're not golems though. They're green energy backup dancers, we'll say. They each have there aren't like some of them have maracas, some of them have castanets. There's one with
his crew.
Right, there's one with a horn, and this guy spins Chekhov around, and a spotlight hits the two of you. Yeah. So Casa S Nova is what's known as a nemesis. So when you fight a nemesis, you go back and forth. Like you'll say something and I'll say something, and you'll say something and I'll say something. Go back and forth describing our fight, and at the end we'll both roll dice against our traits. Now Casa S Nova only has one, and it's lover, not a fighter. Or he has two, I guess. He's lover, not a fighter, and then also dance fever.
Dance fever, very good.
Dance fever. But Scott and gosh darn it, Clara, I knew that. I knew this. Clara will be going up against the backup dancers, which have a threat rating of 1. So again, just 1 damage every turn, and you'll need 4 successes. 6 successes to beat them. Man, handwriting is terrible.
And dice limit of 5 again.
And dice limit of 5 again. Yep. Window. Now I will say the other thing about nemesis is that only one person fights them. So because Marty stepped up and engaged this guy, it'll be Chekhov versus Casa, and then Deus and Bruno will be going up against the backup dancers.
Okay.
Very good. So as Chekhov is spun into the circle, the orb is tossed into the air, and he spins. The light hits him, and he catches the orb in the other hand and takes a Zen stance, and basically like the Matrix gives him the Neo come here, and says, "It has been a while since I've had a worthy dance partner," and disappears the green into his robe and takes a new stance and waits for Casa to come to him.
Casa advances, looking at very stuttering dance step. His one hand up in the air, his other hand down. He spins around, and a rose appears in his mouth. He plucks out and says, "You've never had a dance partner like me, my friend. Allow me to show you my moves." And he flings the rose up into the air, and it spins around, and then it goes actually around you like a boomerang, and as it comes around, it wraps you in these thorns, these thorns vines, and when it comes back, it lands in his hand, and now he has like a rope of thorns around you, and he pulls it, and you spin again, and as you spin, the key engulfed in it, the orb of energy you've got it in, comes flying out of your robe, and he reaches out to grab it. "Your move, friend."
So as Chekhov spins away, the camera is actually just focused on his face, like it's the still point in the scene.
Yes.
And he's while the world spins around him, he's very serene, and he comes to the end of the rope of thorns, and you see him like flung back, full body. Yanks himself back along the line of thorns, and comes straight at Casanova with a fist, but instead of landing the fist, which is directly pointed at his chest, he at the last minute changes it to like cradle his face and reaches up to meet his other hand where the orb is, and both of their hands land. The orb hits their hands at the same time.
That is excellent, and I think we are ready to roll off. I've got 4 dice, and I'll be rolling against Dance Fever for this round, and you may roll against whatever you feel, and you've got 5 dice.
I got 5 dice.
5 dice, and I'm going to go ahead and roll 1 defense dice. That's a success, and then I'm going to roll 2 successful offense dice. So you've got 2. You have to block 2 damage. But then he's only got 1 defense right now, and you've got 5 dice.
All right, I'm going to. I feel like I've hurt myself with choosing my highest level thing because it doesn't really fit here. I don't see how Occam's razor applies in this case, but
I mean, you deduced this guy was the likeliest person to have access to the thing, right? You're like, there could be some complicated entrance, or this guy might just have the key since he's talking about going inside.
Yeah, I mean that happened at the top of the thing. I would say this dance might not be familiar to me, but I can tell by the way he dresses and the way he speaks that he comes from a part of the world where they dance a certain way. And so Occam's razor says that Chekhov, the simplest explanation is that he has this certain fighting style. So
perfect, I love it.
He's a couple of steps ahead. So, but I am going to roll. I'm going to roll 3 defense dice. Shouldn't have rolled so many because I nailed it. That's 3 successes on defense.
Awesome.
So let's see what we got for the 2 other dice. Ooh, 2 and 3, 2 more successes.
Okay. So he is down. He only had 2 health, so he's down to 1. And nemesis are not like players, so if you get him down to 0, he's just out immediately.
Cool. Good. I didn't want that to be over yet. I like this guy.
Yeah, you're gonna have another round with this guy. But first, let's cut to the backup dancers engaging Deus and Bruna in possibly dance-based combat. I don't know what's everybody doing. Bruna, what are you? How are you engaging these backup dancers?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna do. Yes. So I challenge them to a dance-off, and I do the Michael Jackson, and then I go and I do the fastest dance with my agility, and I do all sorts of crazy leg dances, and then I challenge the backup dancer to copy what I did, and he tries to do it, but he doesn't, and his legs get twisted up and then tied into knots, and then he's just left on the floor shaking and just in awe of my dance moves.
Poor green dance golems.
This is so perfect. Okay, that was 5 dice. So that's lightning reflex. You'll need to roll. You do have 1 damage coming at you, so if you want to roll any defense dice, you can do that first, and then you can use whatever dice you have left for offense.
Okay, so let's use 2 defense dice.
Okay.
All right, let me refresh this. Clear. 2d6. So I got a 2 and a 2.
Perfect, double successes. Yep.
Okay. And then for my offensive dice, it's just going to be a 3d6 then.
Yep. And you're rolling against the same number as for lightning reflexes. Okay.
I got a 6, a 5, and a 4.
All right. So is your lightning reflexes a 3 or a 4 or a 5?
My lightning reflexes is my 4.
Okay. So you got you said a 4, 5, or 6?
6, 5, 4. So 1 success.
Okay. So 1 success on that.
Okay.
But you kept yourself from making any damage, which was extremely important. So these guys are 1 success down out of 6, and you have outdanced at least one of them, probably several, and they are now tangled up and evaporating quickly.
So Deus Ex, not being much of a dancer, really. Goes kind of sidles, mysteriously appears just when you need him to, behind a number of the backup dancers who all have instruments, right? They're like a lot of maracas and like flutes and like a French horn, right?
Oh yeah,
and,
sure.
They're busting out some sort of improvisational jazz thing, right?
That's what goes with tango music best: tango dancing and improvisational jazz.
Obviously, right? It's like electronic jazz, right? It's very improvisational, it's very disconstructed, and like any good jazz, it leaves this kind of ambient anticipatory question that hasn't been answered by the deconstruction of the music, right? But luckily, using his skill, an answer for all questions, Deus Ex Machina casts Baggins's beastly bagpipes and interjects into the jazz trio a vile, technically acoustic answer to all of the anticipated questions, thereby destabilizing the deconstructed jazz and reconstructing it into like elevator grade torture music.
Oh
so
no!
all these backup dancers suddenly start like looking around like this isn't hip or cool anymore, and like trying to get back into the giant orb.
Oh yeah, their instruments shatter as your sound waves roll over them, and they stumble backwards.
Sweet. And that's one defense success. And
Awesome, done and done with that.
Answer for all questions. That's one offense success is all.
Oh, okay. All right, so you got 4 more offense successes to go on this threat. But I think now it's time to take us back to Casa S. Nova. So you guys, both Casa and Chekhov have their hand on the orb. Chekhov has his hand on Casa's face. Casa has his hand instinctively on Chekhov's hip.
Yep.
And another, he doesn't have flour in his mouth anymore, but his eyes, his deep brown eyes, look right into your soul, and they say, "You are a fine dance partner, my friend. Have you practiced professionally, or is it all natural talent?"
I find that life is the greatest dance of all, and one must always be living it. There is no floor that is not also a dance floor.
Truly, you are a man after my own heart. It is a shame that I will have to kill you. And with that, he lets go of the orb and spins you around with your hip. He like spins you around again.
Mm-hmm.
And when you come to a halt, he is spinning at you like a ballet dancer with his hands over his head on one toe, but with his other leg outstretched. And he just comes spinning into you and kicks you probably somewhere around the midsection and sends you flying backwards. You of course let go of the orb at the wrong moment. He reaches out to grab it, still balanced on one leg perfectly, and then he stretches his toes up in that plie.
Like a plie, yeah.
Yes, perfect. Yeah, he does that, and then he curtsies.
So yeah, as Chekhov flies back from the kick, he's looking a little ragged, but in the air he seems to take this in form, and he turns it first into what seems like it's going to be a cartwheel, but instead he comes down light on one toe, comes light on the next toe, and turns it into a ballet move as he leaps over one of the green backup dancer slime monsters, which instinctively lifts him in the air. And he takes that moment to reach underneath and around the green slime monster, using his momentum to continue the flip over, and essentially like rubber bands the thing back directly into Casa S. Nova.
Casa S. Nova. Okay, perfect. That's I think that's roll off time. I'm gonna take off. No, I'm gonna take 4 dice for Casa S time. I think you've got all 5 of yours, easy peasy. So he'll be rolling. I think he's gonna roll 1 defense. Or no, I'm sorry. Yeah, 1 defense and 3 offense. So he is unfortunately rolling under lover, not a fighter now, though. So he's got no defense successes, but 2 offense successes.
Ooh, all right.
Now, keep in mind, even if you come down to 0 health, you're not out until you get hit at 0.
Right.
Go for broke.
Right.
All offense.
All offense. I'm gonna throw 2 defensive dice, and we'll see what happens. Save
Perfect.
a 4 and a 1. So yeah, that's That's gonna work for me. I'm still Occam's razoring him.
Perfect.
With the dances. So yeah, that's 2 on the defense. And let's throw these offense. 3 dice. Here we go. Yeah, 1 success. That was very bad. It was,
but that's all you needed.
5. Okay. Yeah.
So describe how you finish taking this guy out. You can kill him. You can send him to some other dimension. You can take him out of the picture however you want, even if he's just, like whatever method you deem like that he's out of the fight.
Yeah.
You can depict.
So he takes the hit as the green backup dancer slams into him, and he's sort of splayed out. The green orb that's controlling the gate rolls away from him, and this thing is like surprisingly heavy. So he's very like unflatteringly flailing underneath it. He's like, no, my dance. And Chekhov approaches and reaches down and picks up the orb on his way to him, and says, "You must remember that when all floors are dance floors, everyone is your partner. I'll be taking these." And he takes Casanova's shoes.
Oh no, his sparkling black dance shoes. Casanova throws his hand over his head dramatically and says, "Oh, I never thought they would be outdanced, but I never knew there was someone like you in this world." And
you can have these back when you have earned them. Come find me.
Rest assured, I will find you back, and I will earn them back in whatever method, whatever way I need to. So yeah, you have outdanced Casanova. He is out. So that brings us back to the remaining slimy Jello backup, arcane backup dancers. Who there's a handful of them left. There's enough for shenanigans.
Well, Deus Ex Machina rolls up his robe sleeves, and underneath his sleeves there is a tuning fork, and he pulls it out, and he begins to bang his tuning fork out of tune and out of rhythm with his bagpiping to double up in his horrible acoustic assault against the few backup dancers that remain, hoping to break their spirit and their will to stay.
All right, I'll give you 4 for that one. 4 dice.
I'm happy to have 4 dice. Do 2 and 2. And that's 1 defensive success, 0 offense successes. You're welcome.
They are sticking around. So there's
somehow they've all got rhythm.
Yeah, they actually adapt. So they're not adapting to the bagpipe exactly, but you can feel the tuning, like they latch onto that and they adjust to their rhythm to help. So they're using your tuning fork against your bagpipe. They're latching onto that rhythm and that new key to sort of counteract your bagpipe music. Looks like it might be up to Bruna to do some damage to these guys.
Okay, so Bruna, after she's done dancing, she starts to pop and lock. And with each pop and with each lock, she strikes one of the backup dancers. And so she just continues popping and locking.
Does she have anything? Yeah. Does she have anything witty to say as she pops and locks?
What does she say? She says, "I say, the 70s never went out of style." And then she goes, "This is the old favorite in Lan Arcanym." And and so I keep popping and I keep locking, and then they keep bursting. Like all the jello keeps like splattering everywhere.
Oh, gross. All right, that's 5. That's 5.
Okay,
I just love this image of you just dancing every time you move and pop, and just you hit a guy and you just
yeah, the bursting like jello.
Ectoplasm everywhere.
Yeah.
Ectoplasm,
it's
very Slimer. It's very Slimer.
I think every time they pop and their jello hits the shield, it sizzles a little bit. You see the shield like flicker in that space. So whatever these guys are made of, when you're popping them, you're also weakening the shield.
Nice.
Okay. Let's say I use 2 dice for offensive.
For 2 dice for defensive, and then 3 for offensive.
No, 3 for defense is 3 for defense, 2 for offense.
Okay.
So I'm rolling offense now. 2d6. I got a 1 and a 5.
All right, and you were rolling on it's at least 1 success. What skill? What trait were you using? You got That's all right.
I was gonna use agility again
Which is
Okay.
for offense.
And
Yeah.
agility is a 4.
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry.
So anything
right, so
that's
it's one-
4 or less will succeed, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
Okay.
so that's one success.
Yep. And go ahead and roll your defense dice.
Okay.
Let's see if you take any defensive damage.
Defense. 3. So I got a 5, 2, and a 1.
All right, that's 2 successes. So you do not take any damage. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're just going to everybody's going to get to add. There's 3 more offensive. Like you guys have been 3 more offensive successes. So I just want everybody to tell me briefly how they take out a couple of these backup dancers, or how they weaken the shield, and we'll call it a wrap on this scene.
What do I do?
Who would like to start?
Okay, let's say I take the ectoplasm, right? That's coming off.
Right, you're scooping
And
it up.
then, I scooped it all up in my hand. And then I see a bottle, right? Just standing there. And it has some sort of chemical there. Or just say, let's say maybe 2 or 3 chemicals. And so I whip something up. And I make anti-ectoplasm. And then I put it on my hands. Right, and so then as I'm popping and locking, it's just splattering on them, weakening the shields.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. No need for dice in that one. We're just gonna narrate the end of this. Somebody else want to pop in and take the next stage here?
The Deus Ex Machina has enough of this ectoplasm left to fill up a lovely little cocktail glass, and he casts the director's opinionated stool, summoning a lovely high-backed chair for himself to sit in and sip lightly and say, I think I could have done it better.
So you're just not even choreographing the scene, just observing it as things.
Just judging.
Perfect. All right. Chekhov, take us home.
So Chekhov has Casanova's shoes, and he's as a monk, he typically is barefoot. So he slips them on, and oddly, they're a perfect fit. And he begins a tap dance that also incorporates the ball. And every time he gets like one of these side flings, he flings the ball, and it bounces off of one of the backup dancers, and it goes over, and he grabs it, and he flips it again. And he's basically just like tapping around the room, using this key to the shield to just like pop each of these dancers. Until like the flurry of his feet finally stop in a big click, and with his hand out, the green ball returns.
Perfect. So you have just taken out your last one at the exact same time. Bruna just right behind her and hits the last one, and its ectoplasm splatters backwards, splattering the shield. Your orb has knocked one off and goes back at your hand, and then you see it glow, and with barely a touch, you dissolve the dome, and you find the final trap door, and you see light coming from within, and you hear a voice. Are you out there? Is anyone out there?
Yes, we're having ectoplasm coolers. It's better than your terrible tea.
Deus, is that you?
Yes.
And so this trapdoor creaks open, and you see light just pouring from out from within. And as soon as you go down this trapdoor, you find the world has been flipped upside down. Like as you step down, you climb up out of it into this greenhouse surrounded by like an arboretum, just trees and blue skies. And there's a middle-aged woman with dark skin and very dark long hair, but like super straight. And she's wearing this regal looking outfit and holding a silver scepter in one hand. And she's surrounded by identical like tween boys with short blonde bobs and like really short like pants, like breeches, and like pointy shoes. No, they don't have that. They're not quite that bad. But yeah, very similarly, like Yeah, that you could imagine them with ribbons and giant lollipops just pretty easily.
Okay.
She's just they're just surrounding like the area behind her. She says, "I'm glad you come, but I'm afraid it might be too late for me." And she turns into a little blonde boy holding a scepter and says, I think you'll find your queen is a queen of nothingness now. We are the court of light. And the light shines and there's a flash and you all find yourself now surrounded by these identical blonde androgynous teenagers. So this is going to be the last fight scene. The threat rating is 1. You only need 7 successes for this one, and anyone is feel free to get this party started with these creepy, identical tween-looking figures, because they're not obviously children. They're some sort of thing masquerading as children.
Chekhov knows that although they may look identical and may they don't move independently, they're all somehow driven by one force, one mind, and that's the only way a being like this could operate with such uniformity. So Chekhov knows that he needs to find the one that is controlling him, and it's not likely to be the one that the queen just turned into. And since she might turn back, he's not going to go for that. So he is going to look around very quickly as they advance on us and look for one that seems to be hesitating. And
the tension.
The dramatic tension is killing us.
Oh, just in the nick of time, DSX jumps in.
Uh-oh, did I hello?
Yeah, you're back. You're back. All right.
Oh, good. Jeez. What? Anyway, yeah, leaps over the forward advancing line and punches directly into the chest of one of them in the second row, thinking that maybe he's got it.
Perfect. So this scene is going to have a dice limit of 6, and I think you've earned all 6 of those dice, Marty. I assume that when you were out for just a minute,
there were so
we
many
missed the most important thing, but we'll go ahead and give you 6 for it anyway.
Oh no! What did you miss? I don't know. I
don't think really missed it. I think you jumped back
time.
in. I think you jumped back in right at where you cut out. So you get 6. The threat rating is 1, and you guys are going to get a total of 7 successes.
All right, I'm going to do 1 defense, and that is a 3, which is awesome because I'm rolling Occam's razor here. And you said I got a total of 6.
Yep, 6 dice. So you got 5 more dice to roll for those. Offense.
Here we go. Let's go offense. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
Yeah, I knew this was going to be we're going to be hitting it hard with this one. Perfect. Okay, so you hit this one tween, and it does not give. Like you hit it really hard, but it's all resistance. Your fist just stops, but around it, the tween creatures around it like ripple and fall down. So it doesn't move at all, but around it, tons of them just are blasted back by the force of your impact of your attack. And this tween does a number of backflips, and the others close around it, and then they all spread back out again. This time in a fighting stance, fists closed, like bodies turned sideways to minimize their silhouette, their profile, and they start advancing on you. So Bruna and Deus.
So what I do is that because what I do, I still have some of the anti-ectoplasm in my pocket, and so I take that and I just try to I pour it on the ground around us in a circle, so that would form a barrier against the scary androgynous tween boys, and hopefully that would protect us.
Awesome. So I'm going to give you 4 dice for that. Okay. You've just got 1 damage coming at you, but again, this is probably the last scene, so you feel free to roll 1 or none or however many defense dice you want.
Okay. So 1 defense. Let's just roll 1 defense and then 4 offense.
And are you using your fix-it ability, I assume, since you're still using the ectoplasm?
Yes, the fix-it.
Cool. Anti-ectoplasm.
So for the defense, I got a 5. Oh no, so that's a failure. I got a 5, right?
Yeah. What's your if you're fixing things is a 3?
No, the fixing thing is my 5.
Okay, then that's a success. You have to roll the number or lower. Yep, ties your success.
The number
okay,
or
so
lower.
perfect.
Okay.
Defense success. And roll your other 3 dice for offense. Also against that 5.
All right. All right, so I got a 5, 6, and a 3.
Oh, 2 more successes. So you're at the perfect 6.
Okay.
I think somebody's come in and saved the day and wrapped this thing up. If only we had.
If only there was a famous wizard.
Yes, someone who just snuck in just at the nick of time. So as things are looking dark, as the court of light, you know, the light in the greenhouse has slowly been going up in temperature, right? The Kelvin chart's now off the scale. It's now like blindingly. Like, you can't quite look directly at these children. They're just so white and preteen.
Oh, and a ton of them melted from the acid, but their bodies covered up with this circle. So you've melted a ton more of them, but like others are advancing over there, falling.
And more to the fact that there's always more tweens. Like, anytime you separate one off, like 12 more congeal right behind it. They just form like a little mass army. You have no idea where they're coming from, but like there must be a mall nearby or something because they're just coming out of the woodwork everywhere. And so just at the moment, the second that it looks like maybe all is for naught, and like we just might get overwhelmed, Deus Ex Machina says, "Oh, I have this scroll of anti-tweens. I was there all the time. I forgot all about it. And 2 magic words, and all the tweens are gone. And the Queen and Bruna and Chekhov and Deus are all sitting around having lovely tea."
Right.
That was rather hairy, wasn't it? I believe it's all offense.
Oh, perfect.
At least 1 success.
Perfect. So you do take 1 damage. But you're at 0, so I don't think it matters.
Yep.
You, as you said, all these tweens are gone. You're sitting there with the Queen of S, Lan Arcanym, and she is drinking tea. She's still dark skin, long hair, but it's up in a bun. Her dress isn't nearly so regal; it's a lot more practical. Still formal, kind of, but more practical. And her silver scepter is actually just a silver ballpoint pen. And she's got a stack of papers next to her teacup and her platter. Oh, it really was absolutely wonderful for you to join us, Deus, and your friends, of course. I'm very gracious and very gracious.
We are so thankful for your
help,
hospitality,
yes.
And very glad to be freed from the children of the court.
Oh yes, the court of light. They're rather unpleasant, but occasionally they do come calling, and it can be a struggle to deal with them. The area around you has subtly changed, so it's still kind of an open air looking room, but it's a little less grand. It's more like a study, like a very open study with a lot of windows, but you see now some bookshelves and like desks and things, like actual work might be done here. She says, I can't tell you how grateful I am, how much I appreciate your assistance. If you ever need anything, you just come to let me know, of course. And in the meantime, I'll send a note to your interim mayor and let her know how much I appreciate your intervention. In the meantime, please, there's biscuits, tea. Welcome. You're welcome. Enjoy yourself.
This zest of orange is simply delightful. Oh,
thank you. It's all homemade. And so you all enjoy a tea party with the Queen of Lan Arcanym, and it's only later that you find yourself. Actually, you know what? You enjoy your tea party with the Queen of Lan Arcanym, and the camera pulls out on that. Bruna, Clara, did you have anything? Did Bruna want to make any last closing remarks as you pull out of this tea party and we close the scene?
If you can just say that nice to meet you, Queen, and we are going to keep your city safe. And yeah, good stuff. Glad we can help.
I really don't care much about Lan Arcanym, but I appreciate the sentiment. And that's where we cut. So that was game. That was the game. That was Wushu. It is extremely, extremely fluid as you can tell from the 20-minute long dance battle that we had in the middle of this game. I don't have anything super exciting to say at the close. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank Scott and Clara and Marty for being on tonight. Thank everybody for watching. I will say next week we'll be rejoining our traditional cast of detectives in the High Guard Special Visions unit as season 2 commences. I believe that Marty is Scott is jamming.
One of the two of us. Yep.
Someone is jamming. It's not me.
Mhm.
So we'll start up season 2. It'll be a big excitement. It'll be same 8 p.m. Eastern, all that good stuff. So I think with that, we're gonna sign off. We'll be back again. Same RPG time, same RPG Academy.
Bye, everybody.
Hasta la vista.
Bye.
Hasta la whatever the Spanish for week is.
Semana. Hasta semana.
Hasta
Oh, man.
semana.
Someone actually do it. Hasta semana.
It's good. It's good. Claire's good. Bye, everybody.
Bye.